course of World War II would have been very different without developments in fighter aircraft, where Germans had an astonishing fleet of aircraft. Let's have a look at one of the iconic fighter jets of the time, the Focke-Wulf 190, and here is the fact about. If you like the video, don't forget, we need your support to improve our videos. So, please subscribe to the channel and like the video and leave us a comment. The Focke-Wulf 190 was designed by famed aircraft designer Kurt Tank, probably one of the greatest aircraft designers during the Second War. It is arguable that the Second World War was the technology war, because throughout the conflict, which raged on from 1939 to 1945, military technology was pushed to whole new levels. In the aviation world, the war began with piston engine aircraft, and then finished with the world's first jet aircraft in service. The leaps and bounds technology had been and was nothing short of extraordinary. Throughout the conflict, some incredible aircraft were produced, none more so than Germany's Focke-Wulf 190. The 190 was built to help out the Messerschmitt BF 109 as the backbone of Germany's air arm. It didn't take long to establish air superiority over the Allied forces until the new Spitfire came into service. Even today, the Focke-Wulf 190 is seen as one of the greatest fighter aircraft ever built, as well as being adaptable in other roles such as ground attack. It's very plausible that the Focke-Wulf 190 was the greatest piston engine fighter aircraft of the entire Second World War. Design and development of the 190. The FW-190 can actually trace its roots right back to the mid-1930s when the German Ministry of Aviation ran a contest for a new fighter to rearm the Luftwaffe. Focke-Wulf entered the FW-159, but it was hopelessly outclassed by the aircraft that won the competition, the BF-109. The Luftwaffe, though, despite now having a modern aircraft in its hands, worried about opposing aircraft, such as the Spitfire, overtaking it in terms of capabilities. So Kurt Tank set to work on creating something to help bolster Germany's air force. What they came up with was a BMW 801, 14-cylinder radial-powered monster. And it soon became superior to the BF-109, becoming a much better aircraft at low and medium altitudes. Its BMW radial engine meant it was very fast, with the FW-190A8 variant having a top speed of 405 mph. At those lower altitudes, the aircraft had unrivaled agility and outclassed the current Spitfire variants, something that had greatly concerned the Allied forces. Only the turn radius of the Spitfire 5th was a match for the FW-190, but that at least meant Allied forces could take on the aircraft. The FW-190 in combat service. The FW-190 took to the skies for the first time in 1939 and entered combat service for the first time in 1941, flying over France and taking on the Royal Air Force. The type soon saw combat service on the Eastern Front, making its debut there in November 1942. This was arguably where the FW-190 found most of its success, where it was used as a fighter, but also as part of special ground attack wings from October 1943 onwards. The aircraft soon established itself as the backbone of the German Jagdwaffe or fighter force. The increased agility of the FW-190 at low and medium altitudes was key. However, it did have its issues. The aircraft suffered at higher altitudes, and only an introduction of a turbocharged version in the latter years of the war helped to solve that. Plus, it never fully replaced the BF-109, as the Messerschmitt design still had operational merits thanks to updated versions themselves. The FW-190 was perhaps the catalyst for the American P51 Mustang, an aircraft that soon became more than a match for the infamous German fighter. Latter years of the war. As the war reached its climax, the FW-190 was still a backbone fighter for the German Air Force. Its roles in ground attacks had stepped up, particularly as the Soviet army closed in on Berlin in 1945. FW-190s were responsible for destroying at least 2,000 tanks in early 1945. The FW-190 would also find itself used as part of the Mistel program. German for mistletoe, the Mistel program saw an FW-190 or BF-109 mounted above a German bomber such as a Junkers Ju-88 that was filled with explosives. The FW-190 would fly the Junkers to a target, which would then be jettisoned and flown into a target to blow up. This was certainly one of the most bizarre attempts by the Germans to regain the advantage in the war. The legacy of the FW-190. The FW-190 will always be seen as one of World War II's greatest fighter aircraft. It wrestled back superiority of the skies from the Allied forces, and it took a whole new version of the Spitfire to bring back some form of parity. Of course, against the onslaught of the Allies and the push for freedom, the FW-190 was never going to be a game changer. But in terms of aircraft development, it was simply one of the very best of its time. If you liked the video, don't forget, we need your support to improve our videos. So, please subscribe to the channel and like the video and leave us a comment.